So, good morning, everybody. At first, on behalf of Bengal Library Association, I welcome you all in this DLA collaborative webinar series 4. And today, it is actually our first collaboration with Sree Chaitanya College Habra, Central Library and IQAC. For this, we are very much grateful to the Honorable Principal Sir, Honorable Coordinator of IQAC, Honorable Librarians, and faculty members as well as support staff of the college. So, at first, I request Dr. Indra Mondol, Honorable Principal Sir of Sree Chaitanya College Habra, to say a few words as welcome address. Sir, please start.
Good morning to all. Honorable Professor Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyay, our librarians, Dr. T.K. Lahiri, Srimati Moshami Satpati, Dolly Das, Dr. Dipendu Panigrahi, the IQAC coordinator, teachers, students, and participants, my heartiest welcome to all of you. This one-day webinar on the topic towards web-based teaching and learning opportunities and challenges is being held in collaboration with Sree Chaitanya College, Central Library and IQAC with DLA. I would like to enlighten something on the topics. I am really happy to be with you in this webinar to hear from honorable speaker on the topics. As the whole world is passing through an unprecedented challenge affected by growing COVID-19 pandemic, and particularly during the period of national lockdown, it should be our sincere responsibility to all possible preventive and precautionary measures to ensure safety and security of students. The serious and severe impact of COVID-19 has shaken the world to its core. Most of the governments around the world have temporarily closed educational institutions in the attempt to contain spread of COVID-19 pandemic. In India, too, the government, as a part of the national lockdown, has closed all educational institutions, as a consequence of which learners ranging from school-going children to postgraduate students are affected. As a result of pandemic crisis, Indian government and all the state governments have taken initiative to mitigate the problems of the students by applying online teaching learning method in the country. In many respects of the educational industries moved to remote instructions lines with work from home move. UGC panel wants all colleges to start in September, and it issues new calendar for all universities in the country 2020-21 sessions. For many Indian teachers, online classes amidst lockdown have been an awful experience. Students have been logging in with fake news and locking teachers out of the video calls. Few teachers explore the swarm to reach students being at distance and distressing time. Although distance learning is nothing new, the current challenge is a little different than a typical distance learning module. During social distancing and stay-home order, nobody is spared, starting from small business to Olympic Games. All are shattered. In this situation, only not out batsmen, excluding the medical and emergency staff, are increasing numbers of webinars and online learning universities like Harvard and Stanford offered their move, massive open and online courses free to the students. Sometime in the second week of March, state governments across the country began shutting down schools and colleges temporarily as a measure to contain the spread of novel coronavirus. It is closed for a month and more, but there is no certainty when they will reopen. This is a crucial time for education sector as the days pass by with no immediate solution to stop the outbreak of COVID-19. School and university closures will not only have a short-term impact on the continuity of learning for more than 285 million young learners in India, but also endanger far-reaching economic and social consequences. The structure of schooling and learning, including teaching and assessment methodologies, was the first to be affected by these closures. Only a handful of private schools could adopt online teaching methods. Their low-income private and government school counterparts, on the other hand, have completely shut down for not having access to e-learning solution. So a section of students have missed the opportunities for learning. The pandemic has significantly disrupted the higher education sector as well, which is a critical determinant of country's economic future. Needless to say, the pandemic has transformed the centuries traditional classroom teaching learning model to one driven by technology. The disruption in the delivery of education is pushing policymakers to figure out how to drive engagement at scale while ensuring inclusive e-learning solutions. A multi-pronged strategy is necessary to manage the crisis and build a resilient Indian education system in the long term. Immediate measures are essential to ensure continuity of learning in government schools and universities. Open source digital learning solution and learning management software should be adopted so teachers conduct teaching online. Inclusive learning, especially for the most vulnerable and marginalized, need to be developed with a rapid increase of mobile internet users in India, which is expected to reach to 85% households. Technology is enabling ubiquitous access and personalization of educational even in the remotest part of the country. Strategies are required to prepare the higher education sector for the evolving demand-supply trends across the globe, particularly those related to the global mobility of students and faculty, and improving the demand for improving the quality and demand for higher studies in India. It is also important to reconsider the current delivery and pedagogical methods in the pedagogical methods in the school and higher education by seamlessly integrating classroom learning with e-learning modes to build unified learning system. The major challenge EdTech reforms at the national level is the seamless integration of technology in the present Indian education system. Further, it is also important to establish quality assurance mechanisms and quality benchmark for online learning developed and offered by India higher education institutions as well as e-learning platforms. Indian traditional knowledge is well known across the global for its scientific innovation, values, and benefits to develop sustainable technologies and medicines. In this time of crisis, a well-rounded and effective educational practice is needed for the capacity building of young minds. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. He has raised many issues such as Shayom, economic conditions of the students. So, on behalf of the association, I will thank you again, once again. Now, this is time for some words from the coordinator of IQAC of Sree Chaitanya College, Habra, Dr. Dibyendu Panigrahi. So, may I request Dr. Panigrahi to say few words.
Respected Principal Sir, Dr. Indra Mohan Mondol, our distinguished speaker, Professor Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyay, Professor Library and Information Science, University of Kalyani, Dr. Krishnapada Majumdar, General Secretary, Bengal Library Association, Dr. Joydeep Chanda, Course Coordinator, DLA Webinar 2020, Dr. Timir Kumar Lahiri, Convener, Library Subcommittee, Sree Chaitanya College, Habra, all participants and my colleagues. Heartiest thanks to all of you for your august presence in this webinar towards web-based teaching and learning opportunities and challenges. In this pandemic condition, we have come across an unprecedented situation and we don't know when this is going to end. In spite of that, our central library has organized this prestigious webinar in association with Bengal Library Association, Kolkata. This is a great honor for Sree Chaitanya College. In this lockdown period, though we are confined in our homes, we have tried our best to continue our academic activities in a different way. But we have been compelled to change our method, that is web based teaching and learning. We have entered a new era, not only teaching learning, now the dependence on web based activities have increased in every aspect of our lives. This program is a part of our such activities, and I think this is a very relevant topic today, and I hope that we will be enriched by the lectures of our honorable speaker in this webinar. I would like to thank the BLA, our librarians, and members of the library subcommittee Sree Chaitanya College Habra for organizing such an event in this situation. I wish this event huge success. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Panigrai, sir. He raised many questions, many issues. Continuing his topic, I want to say something that during the period of lockdown, we are compelled to take classes. Faculty member of different colleges compelled to take classes through different modes. Maybe through Zoom, maybe through Google Classroom, maybe through WebEx, Google Meet, and many other platforms. The problem is that once we just the problem is that the total credit goes to individual faculty members. At the end of the day, so what should get a particular college or institution? Okay, so we have to develop a system so that the classes taken by different faculty members should be credited totally under the particular college. Hope Professor Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyay will say something about this, and he needs nothing to introduction. He is a master person about this. He has been associated in several projects of central government, Swayam portal and other things, and he is one of the best speakers, as I think, in this topic. So may I request Professor Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyay, please join with us and say something about this topic. Professor Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyay, may I request to continue your lecture? In case of problem in your connection, please speak about the topic. Okay, it's a presentation of video or any other things. So please start.
Okay. So thank you very much. Already Principal Sir mentioned and the periphery areas of e-learning and what are the problems we are going to face in future. So presently I am facing a problem of network connectivity because it is raining heavily here and I am slightly in network poor zone. But still I am trying to concentrate on the major areas of e-learning which probably new on this era of pandemic, etc. But before entering into details, I will be sharing my slides with you all people who join it. But here I am not taking the chance of slide presentation. I will be using my slides here and it will distribute to all of you because of the network problem. If it is increasing slightly afterwards of my lecture, then again I can try with high presentation kind of thing. As I said that e-learning is the new normal of the coming future. So there one thing it is quite obvious that we are going to face many cultural shocks. Both teachers, students and other stakeholders of the academic community, we are going to face many cultural shocks. And if you take my personal view that education is nothing but a shock absorbing equipment of the society. What teachers prepare our students to absorb future shocks. Change is only permanent in this world, and every day there will be change. Face different kind of challenges they are going to face in future. So that is basically the education. Educational institutes are basically the shock absorber equipment of society. And audible enough?
No, there is a problem. There is a problem in your sound, actually, sound quality. So please start. So now, please continue.
Hello, am I audible enough?
Yes, but there is some problem in.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
My suggestion is that you just continue your presentation by speaking only, because there is a problem of connectivity, I think.
Okay. That's such a thing I do. As I was talking about cultural going to let us prepare what we are going to face in the coming 5 years. First of all, what I would like to concentrate with you. So don't worry about the slide. Slide will be given. I am just trying to utilize here at my point. So the presently, ways of opportunities and challenges. Lot of opportunities are there in e-learning scenario. many of the things we can do, we not even think in a normal classroom situation. For example, different kind of sophisticated monitoring and training, repetition of a particular course for n number of times for students. So those kind of things are available. There are two challenges. One challenge is infrastructure, as you are facing presently. The second challenge is the steep learning curve. As a teacher, you are all subject experts. You know what is the subject. But apart from that particular domain knowledge, now we need to know different kind of tools and mechanisms associated with four e-learning. So as we are talking about the e-learning, my first point is that you we use the e-learning term very loosely, that everything is e-learning. Suppose I am using my projector in digital classroom. I am using a soft copy of the PowerPoint presentation. I am distributing my lecture notes to my students. All are considered as e-learning, as part of e-learning. E-learning is basically ICT embedded learning. Any bits and pieces of ICT you using in your day-to-day life, e-learning process. So e-learning is just considered as an umbrella term, but within that umbrella term, there are lot many other specifications are coming. First one is the digital learning environment. What is digital learning environment? When you're providing over a network to your learners or students in an interactive mode. That is, it will be available in network 24/7 mode, and in any point of time, your users or learners can raise a point. They can go for different kind of doubt clearing sessions and so on. So digital learning started in the world during the when we got the advent networking in the public domain. From 95-97, internet came rapidly in the society, and most of the services are now web compatible. So digital learning started during the late 90s. Then, with the advent of internet, lot many communication channels, all the communication channels presently we are enjoying in the society can be divided into two groups. One mode is the synchronous mode of communication, real-time communication. For example, this web conferencing tool we are using here, it's a real-time communication and synchronous mode of communication. But there are other group that is called asynchronous group of communication tools, like your emails, like your blog, like your discussion forum. Everything is asynchronous. Is that synchronous is communicated with the end user in real time, but in case of asynchronous mode of communication, you are basically in a half duplex mode. That half duplex mode means you are not connected in real time. Suppose, let me give you one example. You are sending an email, your friend is receiving it, then he or she is reading it, then he or she is replying back. So the communication is not in real time. So that kind of tools are called asynchronous mode of communication. Asynchronous mode of communication like web conferencing, video conferencing, instant messaging, and asynchronous mode of communication like email, discussion forum, etc. When integrated with digital learning environment, then we started calling it virtual learning environment. So in the late 90s we got VLE, and in the early 21st century we got VLE. Now what is the VLE? When your digital learning environment is connected for teacher to teacher, teacher to learner communication with the help of a group of tools, asynchronous and synchronous, they will call it virtual learning environment. So virtual learning environment started right from 2001 to then it is now presently continuing. But another concept came in the in between, that is called managed learning environment. Now, what is that managed learning environment? As a college, you can understand you have many subsystems. For example, you have admission subsystem, you have examination subsystem, you have library information service subsystem. When these subsystems can attach to the really managed learning environment. and this is still in research bit, but many things are happening possibly within 3 to 4 years. All environment in managed environment, everything is integrated. Users are getting a single window access interface to access everything. So they do not have different login and power to interact with the different subsystems. I will be trying to show you how library system can be integrated inside a VLE. So that is possibly the sign of MLE is coming. And after the concept of VLE, we actually extend the VLE to a massive number of people which accommodated any number of courses, then we call the MOOCs platform. So basically a VLE is meant for a single institute or a group of institutes, but many MOOCs are basically for the nationwide. It's a one massive courses. Any number of courses can be accommodated. Any number of learners can be enrolled for against any courses. So this massiveness is basically building. It's a national level infrastructure. So development of a MOOC course is possible by a college, but development of a MOOC infrastructure is not possible by a college. It's a hugely costly. Only a nation can go audit some is the MOOCs government of India. All universities and institutes of national importance attached to it. MOOC is basically massively. This is still not MLE or managed learning environment. Now, in between there is another concept which is called blended learning. When you are, as a teacher, you are utilizing any of these digital learning, virtual learning, or managed learning alongside your classroom-based teaching, that's called blended learning. And according to the expert view, in the coming 5-6 years, India will be enjoying different kind of blend learning scenario. One fine morning we cannot switch functional learning environment to digital learning or to virtual learning. We need to go phase by phase because of the infrastructural problem we already know. So we will down here in between the digital learning and virtual learning, and it will be the blended learning. But we should start utilizing different kind of e-learning facilities and scenario with us, available with us. Now, all this daily or the building block is basically the digital learning object. This is the primary use of e-learning system, DLIS or MLE. Now, what is the DLO or digital learning object? For example, I am giving you a very simple example. You are preparing different kind of lecture notes in soft copy. You are preparing different kind of PowerPoint slides for presentation before your student in soft copy. Use different slide presentations like Microsoft or Office. So each of your lecture note, each of your slide presentation may be considered a digital learning object if it is attached with a set of metadata. Who developed it? For whom developed? What is that? Who is the target audience? Then what is the time schedule for this kind of object? What is the prerequisite knowledge needed to pursue that particular so meta is a standard metadata format which we call LRMI, learning metadata entity. Some people are also using IEEE LOM, learning object metadata. So when a digital learning object like PPT or lecture note is attached with a set of metadata and this is reusable, then it is called a digital learning object. When I say the reusable, I am using a PowerPoint for courses. Now you find it very suitable for your another course. So this will be available under Creative Commons licenses. So anyone can download, anyone can use, anyone can adapt, anyone can adapt. So that is powered by the licensing of Creative Commons that can be repurposed, resequenced, and reused repetitively. The only condition is that you acknowledge that you have taken this slide from this course or from this person. So this is actually a huge company which is open education also. So all these kind of courses, all these kind of digital learning objects, video tutorial, when we made available in the public domain so that other people can utilize it against Creative Commons licensing, then it becomes repurposable, resequable, and reusable. So then it is a digital learning object. So every learning system, the primary building unit or the building block is digital learning resources. As I said that these digital learning resources can be interacted with different kind of virtual communication tools. Some are asynchronous, hard to play mode like email, discussion forum, question and answer forum, etc. Some are synchronous mode like video conferencing and internet relay chat and so on. Now, one expert called Lord, he defined VLE in a very unique way. He said, VLE is a growing and dynamic environment in which education is changing culturally, institutionally, and technically. So, we are going to face challenges from all three facets: technological facets, institutional facets, different kind of arrangements are required, and this kind of cultural shocks. So we need to be ready for that. Now, what is the basic difference between a traditional learning environment and a virtual learning environment? In a traditional learning environment, we all people are associated with this kind of teaching, learning, evaluation environment. So, all teaching, learning, and evaluation, the three facets of education of any kind. When we are conducting in a traditional brick and mortar kind of physical courses, we call it traditional learning environment. And when we are dealing with online environment, different kind of interactive tool without any physical contact, then we call it VLE or managed learning environment. But the question is that what are the fundamental differences between these two? One by one. For example, as a teacher, when you are actually going to your classroom, after your class is over, you are giving a set of further reading list, or your lecture notes includes a set of further reading list. Then your student goes to the library to collect those material. So my point is that in a traditional learning environment, learning materials and the knowledge is not available in a single space. These are available beyond the classroom. But in a VLE or MELE, resources plus knowledge or learning equipments will be available in the same platform. So learning materials and resources are available within the system. Those students or learner need not to go beyond the classroom or the system. Every time they will be connected and all will be available inside them. So therefore it is very important point for in a if I cannot have presence, my library is not having a presence in the online flow of the institution, they are not going to come to me. So this is the famous proverb you all know, that if Muhammad is not going to Parvat needs to come to Muhammad. So libraries now need to be present inside the e-learning workflow, inside the same interface, so that your students can search it, can access it, can see it, can check different kind of borrowing history, loan history, search history. So everything must be integrated. I will show you. I can demonstrate in real time. This is happening. In case of a traditional learning environment, we still depend on examination system, and that examination system is limited in many ways. You may agree with me, but my personal view is that our present examination system is heavily memory oriented. We are as a teacher having very reasoning ability of a student in an examination environment. So in compare with that one, your VLE or MELE can offer you a series of different kind of testing which will be based on reasoning ability rather than ability. So here we are providing different kind of online assessment, online examination. You can give a video and take a comprehension test on it. You can give an audio file. You can take a comprehension test from it. You give a programming environment. Your student make come up with a very good programming PhD or anything. So that kind of innovative examination scenario will be possible in VLE, which is not presently possible in traditional learning environment. Another major important difference is that in traditional learning environment, it is following the institute-driven time and learning. We in a college or university set the class time. So this is 10 to 5 classes will be there. Then we consider that within 1 hour lecture, all the students will learn the same thing in the same way. But you ask yourself, do you consider two students under the sun are same? Are their learning space are same? Are their expertise in different domains are same? Student A very good in topic X. Student B may be very good in topic Y. Most students under the sun are having same learning space, same level. So in traditional learning environment, we simply overrule that concept and we follow a factory model of education. Yes, it may sound as rude, but still I'm saying that is my personal realization. In a typical traditional classroom environment, we follow factory model of education. So what is happening in a factory? Factory procure raw materials, process them within the manufacturing unit, and finally they send to the market for for selling. The same way we are doing also. We procure raw materials from different corners of the world inside the classroom, process them, make them and fill them for job. Now, in place of that factory model of education, DLA can give you a user-driven time and learning schedule-based education. If I want to repeat a particular class 10 times, I can do that in a year or 2 days. If I want to repeat a particular practical assignment or practical demonstration 15 times, I can do that. But is it possible in case of a traditional learning environment? How many times I can repeat a particular class? 2 times, 3 times, not more than that. This kind of user is one of the major facility of virtual learning environment in compared with the traditional learning environment. Then virtual learning is again attached to different kind of real-time communication tools. Normally, you see. Yesterday we were having a session of VLA on Viewfind. So one foreign expert said a beautiful word that normally people interact very shyly in person, but when we are asking something over we are not in person. So you can ask many interesting questions. That shyness is not there. That inhibition is not there. So as VLE is attached to a different kind of real-time communication tools, student can ask many interesting questions what they cannot ask in person in front of a teacher. So that is another advantage. Another thing is that in a traditional library, in a traditional learning environment, we simply do not know what students are doing beyond classroom. I cannot track, I cannot monitor my students after my class, but in a virtual learning environment, I can track every second of my students when they are inside my learning system. I can track what they are downloading, what particular PowerPoint presentation, how many hours they are doing, what video from what point of time or at what particular frame they have withdrawn themselves. So that this kind of feedback can help me to improve my development of different kind of experience. That this particular slide or this particular point is actually skipped by my students. For many of my students are skipping. Then I can think that what went wrong, what I can improve in this particular slide or in this particular frame of the video. So that kind of feedback can track. But traditional learning environment cannot do. But as principals are rightly said, hello.
It is audible, but there is a problem in
So,
sound.
as principals are rightly said that in this pandemic situation, this is acting as a this is playing a catalytic role. This is playing a catalytic role in case of e-learning, in case of pushing the e-learning in front. That is acting playing a catalytic. I am completely agreed with this particular view. But my point is that e-learning, be it lockdown or be it not lockdown, e-learning is here come to stay because there are many bigger factors playing at the back end. So these three factors I am going to tell you uh, um, before starting the actual demonstration. And do not worry about the statistics and facts I am saying here. So everything will be available in the slide. You can view it. So presently, due to network constraint, I am telling only factually and over the audio only. So first point, what I am trying to tell you, a crucial role of trading e-learning in this part of the world. First is the higher education scenario in India. Second is the demographic bonus we are presently enjoying in India. And third is the one AISH report, what we call All India Survey of Higher Education report. The latest one is 1819. So that report said we have almost 980 universities, almost 40,000 colleges, and almost 10,000 plus standalone institutes all over the country. Almost 394 universities. One university are located in rural areas. 16 universities are exclusively meant for women. We have one central open university, 48 open universities, and almost 110 dual universities we are having. So you see a huge educational stuff, 1,000 plus universities, 40,000 plus colleges, 10,000 plus institutes of national importance. 1/3 of the universities are located in the rural area. Almost 20 universities exclusively meant for women or girl students. And distance education, 110 dual mode universities, 14 exclusively state open universities, one central open university like IGNOU. So it's a huge infrastructure. We are possibly one of the biggest educational infrastructure in the world, but unfortunately we are not the finest. What went wrong with this higher education system? Let us take by the statistics. First one is the college density. Now what is the college density? Number of colleges against per lakhs of eligible people. Eligible peoples here means in the age of 18 to 23. So how many colleges are there in India against per lakhs of eligible education? That is the people belonging through to 23. Uneven. The highest number of colleges available in India in the Bangalore urban district, 808 colleges in Bangalore urban district. For Jaipur, 566 colleges. But if you come to Bihar, it is 7 in number. On the one hand, we have college density highest in the country, that is 53 in Karnataka, and the lowest in Bihar, 7 per lakhs of eligible people. And the national average is 28. What we are enjoying in eastern part of the India, it is below a national average, 22. We have 22 colleges, lakhs of eligible, Now, 77% of the colleges are privately managed unaided colleges. Highest number of privately managed unaided colleges is in Tamil Nadu, 87%. Then next important thing is that the GER, gross enrollment ratio. What is our gross enrollment ratio? At the national level, we are struggling with, still the latest report says it's 26.3. Hello. Okay. So I'm sorry this kind of disturbance, but you see, this is happening every day. So anyway, what I was talking about, that is the gross enrollment ratio. Gross enrollment ratio is basically 26.3, and what other Asian countries are doing, you won't believe. South Korea crossed 85, Japan reached already 63, and our nearest competitor China, they already crossed 50. So in India, we are still struggling with 25-26 GR, gross enrollment ratio. That is the a very important measure of higher education in any country. Now so this is one unevenness, that is gross enrollment ratio is very low at the national level. We are having only 26.3. Another important thing is, or another lacuna of Indian higher education is that progression of the student. Progression of a student from UG to PG or PG to PhD is 0.5% only. That means only 0.5% of the students are actually entering at the college level in a graduate program. They are completing their PhD only the 0.5%, the last year figure. Another unevenness is that all universities and colleges in India are almost offering 187 different programs, but 80% of Indian students are actually enrolling themselves into 10 programs only. So 80% of the students are enrolling in 10 programs only. Most of these 10 programs belonging to the arts, humanities and social science. But on the contrary, most of the PhD students are coming from STM stream, science, technology and management. So this is a great unevenness in higher education, low student progression, and high concentration of students on a few set of courses. And PTR. At the college level, for the last report, we are having 1:30. At the university level, we are having 1:20. But if you go to the developed countries of the developed bloc of the world, at the university level, at the PG level, student-teacher ratio should be 1:5, because there are not many specialization courses are being taught. So 1:5 is the standard, but we are having 1:20. Shortage of educators. Then I already talked about the low GPR, 26 only. You won't believe me that within this low GPR, how uneven we are inside the country. If you go to the Delhi NCR area, that is the capital region, the GPR is 50.6. If you come to the southern part of the country, that is all Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, their average is higher than national average. Tamil Nadu is the highest, 46.0, followed by the Kerala 37, all are higher to the higher in compared with the national average. But if you take a look in the western India, central India and eastern India, we are lagging behind the national average. For example, In West Bengal, the GR is 19.3 only. In Odisha, it is 22.1. In Gujarat, it is 23.0. In the entire central India, it is less than 80. Bihar is having only 13.6. So we are low in GR, and even inside the country, we are uneven. Some are higher, like Mizoram, almost 80, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Delhi NCR. But again, you see, on the other hand, we are having entire western, central, and eastern India far below the national average. National average is 26.3. Bihar is still struggling with 13.6. West Bengal is still struggling with 19.3. So that unevenness is there. Now, as I already said, told you that if we compare here with the other Asian countries, China and Japan and South Korea are above. But if we compare with the China, we started better than China up to 1995. Our GR was better than China. But in 1995 onwards, China made a quantum jump and they reached almost 50. And still we are starting with 25, 26. So this unevenness of GR is a major factor. And why I am saying most of the time that low GR, because low GR education is a very complex area of human society. No one consider you. No one is going to consider you in the education domain if you are not contributing back to the knowledge pool. That's why in India, till date, we do not consider distance education at par with the regular education. Why? Because distance education has not yet contributed back to the knowledge pool. They are consumer of knowledge, not contributor of knowledge. So contribution to knowledge is basically measured to check the educational performance of a country. And how that can be measured? A librarian can easily measure that. For example, we measured by following the number of research articles produced by a country. You all know there is a bibliography database called Scopus. We took data from 1996 to 2019. During this period, which country produced how much research article? US is the highest. They produced 120 million research articles during this period, 25-26 year. China comes next. They produce almost 60 million papers. UK third, 34 million paper. And you see, the size of UK is just on the size of a district of India. And they produce 34 million paper. We still manage a top 10 position. We are in the 9th position in the world rank. We produced only 60 million research paper in these 25 years. This is the problem. Effect. If you are not bringing masses inside the classes, then how class can be formed from that? Once Chairman Mao Zedong said a very important thing, that classes comes from the masses. If we are not bringing inside the remote village students inside our classroom, then it is very difficult to improve the number of research paper published by Indian students and Indian academia overnight. So student progression is important. Student progression will work only then when GR is important. So we are in the low GR era, and low GR is supported by low number of educators. We have 35% of shortage of educators. So in a 100-point scale, 65 teachers are there, 35 teachers are simply missing. So that kind of shortage of educators is making this particular point again a very crucial one. We need a solution. The solution against low GR, solution against uneven quality, solution of the shortage of educators. Now, this is one point you please remember. Second factor, apart from this low GR and higher education scenario, is the demographic bonus. In what is demographic bonus? Most economics and commerce teachers are already knowing it. The demographic bonus, we can say, a country is having when working age population is higher than the non-working age population. Now, what is the working age population? People belonging to the age group of 15 to 64. So all the people belonging to the age group of 15 to 64 are considered working people, and children below age of 40 and our senior citizens with an age higher than 65 are considered as a non-working population. And India has entered in the era of demographic bonus or demographic dividend, where our working age population will be higher than population. Rarely it comes, that chance comes to a country. Against 500 years, 700 years, after 500 years or 700 years, this kind of things happen. So, demographic bonus, the mean age of Indian person calculated on the top of 2018 data is only 28.1. So, we will be the younger nation in the world in the coming Okay. So Japan is having 47, China is having 36.4, UK is having 40.5. So you see, these nations are growing. Japan is already an old country. If you go to the Europe, Germany is the old country. Their average or their median age of the citizen of Germany is 47.1. So India will be the youngest country of the world in the coming 30 years. We will be supplying most of the workforce to the world companies. But for that, our manpower must be skilled and must be employable. So there lies the importance of higher education and importance of e-learning. But digital dividend alone, leading anywhere. For example, I am giving you a good example so that you can understand. So I am going to give you two examples so that you can understand. Japan also enjoyed this kind of demographic bonus during the period from 1964 to 2004. So they enjoyed that period for 40 years. And you see the spectacular growth made by Japan during this period. China entered into demographic dividend era in 1994. And their demographic bonus period will be ending in 2031. So they enjoyed a 37 years window just like India. And China GDP raised during this period from 7-fold. In the demographic bonus era in 2006, and from then it will be ending in 2038. But ending this period, Brazil could make only 2-fold in the 7-fold. Why? Because this demographic dividend or demographic bonus era equally equipped with the a planned higher education system in China, and that unfortunately that has not happened in Brazil or other Latin American countries. In India, we have already entered into demographic bonus era in 2018. Our bonus period will be ending in 2055. So we are having a 37 years window just like China. And working age population will be low during this window, and again still will be slightly increasing after 2055. So coming 37 years, we already spent 1 year of 2 years of it, almost 2018 and 2019. So coming 30 years very crucial for Indian youth. If we cannot change in the proper educational avenues, if we fail to impart skill inside our youth, then that youth energy will be channelized in some other avenues. Lot many social unrest kind of things is going to happen in India if we are not quite serious about the higher education till date. So this is one factor. Another factor is the shrinking higher education budget. I'm giving a few data sets. The detailed data set will be available with the slide. In 14-15, we started with 6.15 percentage of total central budget. So higher education enjoyed a whopping 6.15 percentage of the total central budget in 2014-15. But it is gradually reducing here, and the last year 2017-18, the total higher education expenditure in terms of the percentage of the total central budget is only 3.71. If we consider higher education in terms of the total government expenditure, so also 4.24% in 14-15, reduced to 3.0% in 1920, although there is revised and estimated for 2020, but it reduced to 3.40. If we consider higher education as a percentage of GDP, it never reached 1% of the total GDP. Highest in 2014-15, it was 0.53%. Now the 1920, it reduced to 0.45%. Again, it is a revised estimate. So this is the situation. On one hand, we need more investment on developing infrastructure like network infrastructure, and that kind of thing. On the other hand, higher education budget is sinking every day. So these three factors altogether is leading to a solution which is learning, so that the best of business can be their knowledge, their expertise, their skill can be delivered to the richest part of the country over the network. And you tell me, apart from e-learning, what else can do that? So e-learning will be the key factor for the utilizing of demographic in future. So that's why lockdown or not lockdown is here come to stay because of these three factors. Government has taken lot many e-learning projects. If you go to the Ministry of HRD sites, we have NAD, National Academic Depository, so that all certificates and marks can be distributed on foreign companies. Apart from NAD is the SWAYAM project, you know, it's the Indian MOOCs. Then apart from SWAYAM, a sister project is there, it's called SWAYAM Prova. So keeping in view the non-availability of broadband network at the village level, Government of India started a parallel DTH network, direct to home. So all the contents of SWAYAM will be delivered over direct to home television free of cost through a channel called SWAYAM Prova. There are almost 22 national channels already established, and that one of the LI faculty member, Professor Uma Kanjilal, is actually acting as national coordinator for SWAYAM Prova project. So these all things are happening. So many other programs are going on. There are projects in there plus something higher education, e-learning in higher education. EGC already passed some kind of regulation. 20% of the courses in a PG level can be a student can cover in two different SWAYAM courses. So that kind of regulation is also coming from courses. It will be coming. This we are trying to now as a team, what model, what technical model we are going to follow, and what kind of model we are to follow. At the technical level, Government of India post LCMS, Learning Content Management System. Already principals talked about learning content management system is different from. I'm that senior teachers of college also taken classes through different kind of tools, Zoom app or Google Meet, not as e-classroom. E-class, e-classes are basically a kind of interactive session, kind teaching equipments utilizing in today's classroom thing that you can utilize inside that system, and that will complex system or if teaching, learn, and evaluation should be affiliated with it. So technical architecture, they are proposing to the AMS many opens content memories available module we can develop then AIT developed OCW, then there are .RLN. So all of these are of good quality, but also for for example, this is based on the college there's as a teacher, you are more concerned about but government of India has given a very strict order that every e-learning activities in India for single and the model is called four quadrant model. So as a teacher, you need to know four quadrant model. What is the quadrant model? For example, suppose so first I need to make my syllabus study. I need to syllabus already divided number of the topic you take in of a particular unit of your course, then that particular topic must be supported by quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 is text and presentation. So you preparing a 10-page summary for a topic, preparing a topic, that becomes the quadrant 1. Now in the quadrant 2, you have to prepare a video tutorial on that particular topic. Lot many open source video tutorial and screencasting softwares are available. For example, if you are using Windows, there is beautiful software for screencasting. It's called Cam Studio. If you are using Linux, there is software called Kazam. If you are going to have a full-fledged video tutorial, you can utilize open source software called OBS, Open Broadcasting System, so that you can utilize both in Windows and Linux operating system. So quadrant 1 is the e-text and e-presentation. Quadrant 2 is the video tutorial of 25 to 30 minutes of length against each particular topic. Then comes the quadrant 3, a list of further reading for your student on the topic. And Government of India categorically said that most resources you provide as a reading list must be open access as far as feasible and as far as practicable. So a teacher must know that where a lot many open access resources and open educational resources are available, and your can help you to a great extent that where is the knowledge, because as a teacher you are a subject expert, you know what is the knowledge, but the other part of the knowledge is what is the knowledge, and a librarian can help you there identify proper kind of open access sources, proper kind of open education sources, what licenses So everything from an open now the network is the value topic they get MCs they can say and environment so that uh, so that that you can go for different kind of self-assessment kind of. So Google, as I said, the open source learning content management system, it is supporting almost 36 types of MCQ. It's not only single answer type E-type MCQ. You can you can have more sets of online teaching level model. Any kind of open access, open CMS, you need to work four quadrant approach. Please remember, as a teacher, you target a topic that needs to be supported by four parameters. Parameter 1 or text e-presentation, parameter 2 is the video tutorial, parameter 3 is the further reading list, mostly open access resources, and parameter 4 is the evaluation, either online assessment, short answer type questions, or MCQ based assessment. So if we take one quadrant at a time, so in case of quadrant quadrant 1, when you are preparing your e-text, how is the slide repositories are there, and what are the slide preparation tools. So in this quadrant 1, that is e-text, you need to prepare yourself to learn different kind of open access sources are available. Only 200 millions of open knowledge objects are available. Expert predicted that by the year 2030, 100% of the knowledge objects will be available in open access channel. But the problem is that these open access resources are distributed all over the world. You need to be a very good searcher, and there your librarian friend can help you to identify a different kind of pathfinder services like tertiary source or meta source, we call in the library science terminology, we call them tertiary sources. So those tertiary sources like for gold path open access we have DOAR, for green path open access we have DOAR, and open learning or repositories, Marlot is there, many other things are there. So single window search interface librarian people, librarian from all over the world developed it. So those kind of resources your library friend can help you identify. Then when it comes to the quadrant 2, that is the video to presenter preparation, you need to know a few software. Most of them are quite similar in nature. You try to start with Cam Studio if you are using Windows based, so it can capture your screen alongside your voice. You can utilize your PowerPoint players presentation and can give your voice. If you have a use OB. So these are very simple in nature. Teachers are a very intelligent lot of people. So you people will learn these tools within 7-8 years. And most of the cases, these tools are available as open source, available both platform Windows and Linux, and you can learn it very quickly. And quadrant 3, again, open educational resources and open access resources may come as a failure. And in the one thing you need to learn how to formulate innovative questions. Because you see, in a protected examination center inside a college or university is a different. But when you are taking some exams over online, then you don't have any kind of control. So we cannot have a protected examination kind of thing. It's an open book system. Any resource your student can consider, anyone they can consult. So if you are very so you will be very successful in nature. You try to find out the questions which depends on the reason, logic, and the answer is not ready. They need to apply their judgment. They need to apply their knowledge to get that answer. So that kind of question formulation skills is not going to develop in us. They cannot have skill. So we need to practice. There are many kind of ideas how teachers can formulate questions so that we can have different kind of online examination system. So that is a debatable issue, but that is a very that's a very burning issue also in online environment. Apart from different software skill, we now also need to have the skills for innovative information. And these e-learning softwares are quite compatible with Unicode, so we can offer different kind of regional language-based courses there. And when I will be sharing my slides, I have given some of the e-learning courses we are running alongside the Bengali language courses we are running. So the dealing with different kind of literature and language. Please do not worry. Every language, every regional language, every Indic script, all 22 constitutionally recognized language, that is the languages listed in 8th schedule, are now Unicode compliant, and that can be handled by LCMS very easily and very effectively. From my side, I am extremely sorry the network disturbance, and I do hope that still little bit you get from this side. So Jaidev, over to you.
Actually, today is a huge network problem from your side. Sounds are sometimes breaking down. Okay, I think you have prepared. Am I audible to you? Professor Mukhopadhyay, am I audible to you?
See, I am a hardcore technical person. Are you getting me? Hello?
Sound is breaking down somewhere.
Hello?
Please answer this question first.
Okay. So I don't think I can answer these questions because the moral values and emotional crisis, these are all psychological issues. I am a mere technical person who are dealing with all kind of LCMS. Someone more knowledgeable in psychology and educational psychology can give you answer. But I think as an as a person who is dealing with e-learning for the last 10 years, the students have different kind of mental pressure because of non-communication, because of the network error. Some of the important part they always miss during the lecture because of the network error. A kind of kind of mental pressure. Then during the MC test, when I give only them 15 minutes of time, they unnecessarily worried how because of the network error or other many things, how can they complete within the 15 minutes of time. So later on, I as a teacher learned from the mental I adapted an innovative method. So I offered that particular MCQ examination for 30 minutes of period or 1 hour of period. So within this 1 hour, this particular quiz MCQ will be available. But the moment you start it, you will be getting only 20 minutes. that reduce a lot of mental anxiety on the part of the students, and we teachers need to be very much considerate, very much tolerate towards the student attitude, because we together are learning. So student and teacher together we are learning many new things. So many such questions arise, and you see, e-learning is basically a multidisciplinary area. Lot many people should join from education, psychology, technological experts, life professionals. Then we can make a grand success. It's not that a one particular domain. It's an interdisciplinary area of activity. So that's all from.
Last question, I think.
In rural area, we hardly find schools with good library. How can institution help in enriching library and enriching students? If you are talking about our state, West Bengal, then I am slightly contradicting your views. Public libraries are the only free information space in the society. Half of our GPs, we have total number of 3360 plus number of gram panchayats. Half of this GP, or 60%, rather 60% of these gram panchayats are already having one or two public libraries. So nowadays people are proposing that school must be linked to the public library. Every public library must be equipped with all kind of modern infrastructure, so that the network broadband infrastructure will be extended to public library. There will be a big plasma TV kind of thing. Many seating arrangement will be there, so that particular space can be used for other school as a joint space for other school for extending e-learning system. Already this model is becoming very successful in Kerala. So in e-learning cannot prosper in isolation. We need to make partners, and public is a very point of presence for e-learning. Here we are having physical infrastructure for almost 60% of the GPs are covered, so that's a good sign. But if you consider the other states of the country, apart from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Goa, I have personally seen the length and breadth of the public library system there. So apart from these few states, other states have top library infrastructure, and there we need to concentrate. But all these things won't be happening overnight. If we can showcase one or two states success of one or two state public library system, then the other state definitely going to follow that one.
Thank you, Professor Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyay. I think you have prepared a presentation of the webinar. I think if you slides and other things. So if you just send me so that I can distribute to the participants of today. Okay. Am I audible to you?
Definitely, I am going to send you by 10 minutes. Yeah. I'm going to send you by 10 minutes.
Okay, because there is a sound problem of today's presentation, and now from my end there are some solutions of today's webinars. Actually, the topic of the today's webinars. Being a librarian, I have joined probably in 1995. Today, this month is my 21 year of the library service. So we have made some solutions on the suggestions of Professor Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyay in my college, that is Gurudas College. We have installed Moodle database. Okay. So total systems, e-content, e-learning, assignments, everything are under these particular systems. And our faculty members are requested that if he or she want to take a particular online class or etc. other things, he should enroll first to that particular Moodle system. And there we have just installed two online platform. One is WebEx, another one is Jitsi. Okay, so that teachers and students first enroll there, and they are just he or she take the class, or students can participate in the class, so that total systems are controlled, and at the end of the day we have the total recording of that particular classes, that particular class, and also the particular students who have attend or not attend, etc., etc. So it is a good solution for a college. I am requesting all of you, you can go through the Moodle database or Moodle system so that it may be a permanent solution for your college. So we are at the end of the today's program. Before we end, there is a formal vote of thanks. But previous, I want to announce something about forthcoming webinars of Bengal Library Association. Tomorrow there is a webinar, a joint webinar with Library Association of Bangladesh on cataloging of treatment of cataloging of Bengali author's name. That's a huge webinar actually, and important webinar. And next Saturday we are going to organize webinar on installation and customization of POHA probably at the afternoon at 4 p.m. I think. And the speaker is Mr. Binod Kumar Mishra of Raurkela. And next Sunday, we are going to organize another webinar on library service in pandemic in collaboration with Potuakhali University of Science and Technology, Bangladesh, Borishal. And there is a huge webinar we are going to organize on 12th of July, preparation for NIRF. And the speaker is Swami Shastrughanandaji Maharaj, and the time will be 11 a.m. And you know that Swami Shastrughanandaji Maharaj represents the principal of Ramakrishna Mission Vidya Mandir of Belur Math. So please be associated with us in these webinars. So at last, may I request Dr. Timir Kumar Lahiri, the Honorable Convener of Library of Sree Chaitanya College, Habra, please say some words as your vote of thanks. Please start, sir.
ধন্যবাদ স্যার। আমি পিএম স্যার, আমি একটু বাংলায় বলি, ইংরেজিটা স্যার আমার খুব ভালো আসে না। প্রথমেই আমি, হ্যাঁ স্যার আপনি চিনতে পারছেন না? আপনি যেভাবে ইংরেজিটা বললেন আমি স্যার খুবই মানে ভালো লাগলো। কিন্তু আমার একটা ব্যক্তিগত আপনার সাথে আপনার ফোন নাম্বার পেয়েছি, পরে আপনাকে কথা বলে দেবো। আমার নাম্বারটা আপনার ওই হোয়াটসঅ্যাপেও আমি দিয়েছি, ঠিক আছে স্যার। আমি ভোট অফ থ্যাঙ্কসটা দিই। প্রথমে আমি আমার ধন্যবাদ জানাই আমার কলেজের অধ্যক্ষ মহাশয়, যিনি আমাকে এই অনুষ্ঠানটা করার জন্য অনুমতি দিয়েছেন। তার সাথে আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই আমার বার্সার স্যারকে, ডক্টর সমরেন্দ্রনাথ চট্টোপাধ্যায়। তার সাথে ধন্যবাদ জানাই IQAC কোঅর্ডিনেটর, যিনি এই টপিকটাকে স্যাংশন দিয়েছেন। তার সাথে আমার লাইব্রেরি সাব কমিটি সবাইকে আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই। আর ধন্যবাদ জানাই অধ্যাপক, অধ্যাপিকা এবং কলেজের শিক্ষা সহায়ক কর্মীকে। আর আলাদাভাবে ধন্যবাদ জানাই আমি আমার লাইব্রেরি ডে সেকশনের মৌসুমী শতপথীকে, যার প্রত্যক্ষ সহযোগিতা এবং আমাদের বঙ্গীয় গ্রন্থাগার পরিষদের যিনি হচ্ছে জয়দীপকে আলাদাভাবে ধন্যবাদ জানাই। ওকে আমি নানাভাবে করেছিলাম, এটা হচ্ছে না ওটা হচ্ছে না করে। কারণ স্যার আমার পড়াশোনাটা 1984 সালে শেষ, 2020 সালে আমি স্যার অনেকটাই অবসোলেটেড। সেই জন্যই এই জয়দীপদেরকে আমাকে মাঝে মাঝেই বিরক্ত করতে হয়েছে। এবং আপনি তো জানেন স্যার, আমার পিএইচডি করতে যাই, আপনিও কিছু কিছু প্রশ্ন করেছিলেন, যে প্রশ্নটা আমার কাছে একটুখানি অন্য জাতীয় মনে হয়েছে। আপনি সেই সময় থেকেই যে প্রশ্নগুলো রেখেছিলেন ওই সেমিনারের মধ্যে, আমার আজকে মনে হলো যে সেটা আপনি কতখানি দূরদর্শী। সেদিনই বলেছিলেন, কিন্তু আমি বুঝতে পারিনি না জানার জন্য। যাই হোক স্যার, আপনাদের সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ জানাই। আর আমি বঙ্গীয় গ্রন্থাগার পরিষদকে আলাদাভাবে আরেকটা আবেদন রেখে দিতে চাই, এরকম যদি ওই সেমিনার আবার অর্গানাইজ করা যায়, তারা জানি এইভাবে আমাকে হাতটা বাড়িয়ে দেয়। কারণ এই একটা তো প্রবলেম যেটা জয়দীপ তুললো, সেটা হচ্ছে নেটওয়ার্ক প্রবলেম। আর একটা জিনিস হচ্ছে স্যার, যেটা আপনি এই সমস্ত জায়গাতে অনুষ্ঠানে যোগ দিতে হলে পারে যেটা আমাদের অসুবিধা হয়, সেটা হচ্ছে সবার পক্ষে এই ইলেকট্রনিক ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট ব্যবহারটা অনেকে জানে না বা অনেকের কাছে নেই। এটা অর্থনৈতিক সংকটের জন্য। এই দিকটা যদি আমাদের রাজ্য এবং কেন্দ্রীয় সরকার যদি প্রোভাইড করে, এবং তার সাথে যদি আমরা যেটা 78 সালে বলে এসেছিলাম, যে রাজীব গান্ধীর সময় যখন ওই আপনার উনি ইনফ্লিপ নেট যখন চালু করতে চেয়েছিলেন, যখন এই কম্পিউটার আসার বিরুদ্ধে আমরা যখন বলেছিলাম যে আমাদের বিদ্যুৎ ব্যবস্থাটাই সঠিক নেই, সেখানে ইন্টারনেট ওয়ার্কটা কতটা কার্যকরী, এই জায়গাগুলো। আর তারপরে জয়দীপ তো অনেকটা সমাধান করে দিল এই ভেবে যদি যেটা আপনার স্যার ওই যে ডেটাটা মানে রেকর্ডেড ডেটাটা যদি আমাদের মধ্যে সাপ্লাই মানে সার্ভিসটা দেয়, সেই জন্য স্যার আপনাকে আবারও আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই, কারণ 2010 সালে আপনার ওই সেমিনারের টপিকটা আমি অনেকটাই এখানে আজকে পেলাম। নমস্কার স্যার, এই বলেই শেষ করলাম স্যার।
Thank you, Dr. Timir Kumar Lahiri, Timir Da, especially, and he has requested us to organize such a program once again. So, as there is a sound problem, we cannot deny the problem of sound or any network connectivity. So, I am assuring you that if you interested, we will organize another webinar in collaboration with Sree Chaitanya College, Habra, Central Library, and IQAC. So I think that's all. Again and again, I, on behalf of Bengal Library Association, want to thank all of you. There is a feedback form in our registration site. Please fill up the feedback form, and your participant certificate will be mailed hopefully within tomorrow. Thanks once again, and goodbye.
ধন্যবাদ ভাই সবাইকেই। ঠিক আছে।